You're watching The Isaiah Factor Uncensored.
Welcome and thank you for joining us for the second half hour. The Factor Uncensored. Fox 26 News is reporting a HPD officer is accused of repeatedly dropping the N-word on her social media account. Due to fair use guidelines, we cannot show you the video a viewer sent to Fox 26, which allegedly shows HPD officer Ashley Gonzalez using the slur on her close friend's Instagram story. And those who complained about it say she doesn't just say it, she brags about using it on a suspect during an arrest, claiming the slur brought her, quote, peace. Tonight, HPD tells Fox 26 they are aware of the video and they are not certain she is a person in the video. However, they have relieved her of duty as they investigate. Joining us to talk about this, President of the Houston NAACP, Bishop Dixon. You have seen the video. What is your assessment of it?
Well, first of all, thank you for being here, Isaiah. I was shocked and absolutely disturbed by the fact that an individual wears a badge, a gun, and is a certified peace officer with that kind of ideology. Racism is real, but it does not belong in a law enforcement uniform, and that's what we see in this scenario.
And for those who say, hey, wait a minute now, she's Hispanic.
Well, unfortunately, we do know that racism crosses lines of color and ethnicity. And it's even more pathetic, if I can say that word, because here we are battling against racism in our country, as you know. And we are a divided country about race. And we are trying to pull people together. We're trying to build black and brown coalition. And coalitions among people who understand that we're really one family, one future. And yet, what's supposed to be the best of us in terms of a police officer misrepresents all the good officers, unfortunately, and more unfortunately, represents that there's still a degree or measure of people, even in law enforcement, who are carrying racist ideology and living out racist mentality while they're on a job. That's endangering the public and endangering their fellow officers.
What do you think HPD's course of action should be here as a result of this coming out, if this is in fact her, and they acknowledge they are investigating her?
Well, two things. First of all, if the investigation proves that this is this individual making these kind of statements with this ideology, the person should be completely terminated. That does not belong on the street with a gun and a badge patrolling. Think about it. If that individual stops someone for a traffic violation, that's an African American, she sees that person as the object, as a digger. If that's the case, that doesn't belong there. But then secondly, HPD, I think, needs to do more with sensitivity training. I do know that there were times in the past, persons like myself would get called to help with sensitivity training prior to officers getting the badge and the gun, and then even beyond. We've got to get back to that kind of real detailed training and conversations in law enforcement.
And of course, it's our understanding from our reporter that she, this officer completed the training in 2024 as a cadet. And your assessment of seeing the video and how she uses the word, would you say it's part of how she grew up? What?
First of all, we're not born racist, right? We learn racism from people who we believe in. So
and let me make it clear.
Yeah.
Because when she says it, it just flows right out.
It flows
as if it's in everyday language for her.
This is not
it's
a first
not
time.
Like,
no.
And that's it.
No.
It's like she's said it for quite some time.
People who know this individual knows this individual and knows the proclivities. Family, friends, even other police officers. Think about it. When she committed this particular arrest, she was perhaps not doing that alone. Maybe some other officer heard her use those words. Who is complicit in this situation because you ignored it, and now this is what we have? But often it ends up violent. In violence, even beyond just an arrest. So I think we got to deal with the heart of the issue. All of us have a responsibility. If someone has a job where they can endanger other people's lives based on their ideology, especially racism, all of us have a responsibility to do something, say something, and stop it before it causes real problems. That's what we are in America, and that's what we're in Houston.
And do you think there's a possibility of redeeming her, retraining for her before they terminate her?
Well, I will say this: I hope the person gets retrained and reformed for the longevity of life. But I don't think law enforcement perhaps is the place for that. And I don't want to pass judgment conclusively, but I think that there's got to be something done individually to get this individual straight for the fact that, listen, people are people, and anytime you objectify a person and you wreck their dignity, that rob them of dignity, that person does not belong in a uniform at all representing law enforcement. Peace officers have to respect every person the same to do their jobs effectively. That's not a high bar, that's just the low bar, just a human respect. We got to make sure that happens in HPD.
All right, Bishop, thank you for joining us. And of course, HPD once again is investigating this. Once they get the results, we'll bring it back here on The Factor. And of course, that officer is welcome here on The Factor to give their side. Still ahead, we live in a world where sex is everywhere. It dominates our media and drives our culture. But what happens when you choose to completely unplug from it? Next, we sit down with people who have taken the path of celibacy.